And then the other ones who didn't make it, they can watch the recording later on. Let me share my screen. So you can see the screen, right? You can see this ugly picture. I always like to start my presentation with this picture because this is exactly how Estonia looked like 30 years ago. And if you were into business as well back then you had to deal a lot with these kinds of people. Because well, the economy was completely broken, you know, after the breakdown of the Soviet Union. The country was almost like bankrupt, streets full of gangsters, corruption, and so forth. And in fact, I remember I was a little kid back then, obviously, and I think I was probably 7 or so when I started to collect money to buy a bicycle for myself, and it took me 4 years to put the money aside. So I was from 7 to 10 years old. Every birthday, every Christmas, I was putting money aside. and eventually, when I got 10, I actually bought a bicycle to myself. It was a really nice Kona mountain bike, and I was the happiest kid ever. And I mean, 10-year-old guy, I mean, I had the coolest bike in the whole neighborhood, I guess. But sadly, I only got my pleasure to ride it for probably like 5 days because it got stolen pretty quickly, you know. And that really well describes the nature of the economy back in the 90s. Well, imagine you're a president of that country. Now, what the hell do you need to do as a leader of the country to turn this whole thing around so that 30 years later, your country is recognized as one of the leaders, worldwide leaders in tech development, digitalization, cybersecurity? See, back in 1990s, it was also the beginning of technology era. And our leaders, they made a bold decision to rebuild the economy with the strong integration of technology into the government sector. For that, you obviously need money, right? Back in the 90s, all this tech industry, as we know right now, I mean, being the piloting country, I mean, it was really expensive for the country, and there was no money. But the money comes from taxes, right? That's one of the incomes. But how much money, tax money, you're really getting if the country is like corrupt, right? So it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like an endless circle of, you know, trying to get out of something that doesn't work, right? So the first thing the first project that laid the foundation to this digitalization of Estonia was taking Taxport online. And see, that happened in the year 2000. So that was when the first huge project was pretty much live. And since then, so that's what, 23 years ago, since then, Estonian Taxport became one of the most transparent ones in the world. So since then, we file our tax declarations online completely, typically with just several clicks in under few minutes for a private person. And then it can take a bit longer for the business entity, but still, it's a lot of stuff is pre-calculated and pre-filled, and that's what makes it like easy and transparent. When was the last time that you had to print something, sign, scan, and send back to someone, right? Well, we fixed that in 2002 because Estonia was the first country who developed the digital signature, and not only developed and introduced, but actually applied it on the governmental level. So as of today, like, I don't know the exact statistics, but this is a common thing in Estonia. I would say like 99% of people probably use it, and like we barely using any papers or paper documents or whatever. Everything is signed with encrypted signature. In 2005, Estonia was the first country to introduce the e-voting in the parliamentary elections. In 2007, the e-business registry was introduced. Later, the e-Residency. I'll talk about it a bit more. And then by 2017, the Estonian government was operating such a big amount of data digital data, that we started thinking about cybersecurity. Like, okay, well, like we don't want that to be, stolen or disappeared or whatever. So what we did is we created a data embassy, which is basically a cloud-based servers that are located in Luxembourg. And they are designed to protect all of the governmental data from cyber attacks and crisis situations. And there have been a lot of other projects in between as well. It wouldn't fit on the slide if I was to go one by one, and we wouldn't have time to go through it as well. But the point is that the majority, 99% of all of the public services are digitalized today in Estonia. And a lot of private sector players, like private companies, have been integrating those government developed solutions into their platforms as well, so that the communication between the citizen, between the government and the private sector is smooth, secure, and quick and simplified, and without extra bureaucracy. Okay, so this is why we call Estonia e-Estonia. Okay, so this is how we're known. In fact, there are two things that you can't do online yet. You can't marry someone and you can't divorce someone. I don't know why. You still have to go and give the physical signatures for that. But I know they're working on this. They promised that during 2023 they'll fix it. So we'll see. But obviously, with this high digitalization, if we're now thinking on the business environment, first of all, it helped us to solve the issues that we had, right? So it helped us to eliminate corruption as it was, and it helped us to reduce bureaucracy a lot. But also besides that, or maybe because of that, it also positively affected our business environment. So for example, in Estonia, it only takes you 30 minutes to register a company. And you don't even have to go out of your home for this. You just need the internet connection, basically. In fact, I think it was in the summertime, London Tech Week was a huge event in London. So we have set the world record in the shortest amount of time to register a company. It took us 15 minutes and 33 seconds. It was done on stage, and I know for a fact that there have been some internet issues as well, like connection issues. So the person had to connect with his data on a phone eventually, because their internet didn't work. So there he lost some time there as well. But that was an e-resident from Austria, so he wasn't even Estonian. Becoming a VAT compliant, well, that's a matter of 3 minutes. There is not a form even that you have to fill out. It's just like few clicks and you just consent with the stuff that they offer, and it's issued automatically to you. A regular business owner with an average knowledge in accounting will spend only around 50 hours annually to declare taxes online. And a lot of entrepreneurs actually do it by themselves in Estonia without the help of accountant even. Just to compare, I would say that the average for Western European countries, it's around 200, 300 hours annually, like Poland and Italy and some other countries. And in Brazil, it takes 1,500 hours annually to declare taxes. So 50 hours, well, that puts things in perspective, right? Imagine you're snowboarding somewhere in the Alps and your accountant calls you and says that the important document has to be signed ASAP, right? So again, coming back to print out, sign, scan, send. Well, what if you don't even have a possibility to do it, right? So again, coming back to the conveniency of doing that, in Estonia, digital signature allows you to basically sign any document or any deal or whatever you need, basically through your smartphone. All of this, obviously, all of this and a lot of other stuff as well, it kind of allows you to run your business remotely. We call it like location independent business, in Estonia, but literally that's the pleasure of having an Estonian company, because you can run it everywhere in the world, from everywhere in the world. And the cherry on top of the pie, I don't know if you guys knew or not, but in Estonia, there is a 0% corporate income tax on reinvested or retained profits. So how does that work? Well, we thought that we will let you keep all of the profits of your company so that you as entrepreneur have more money at your disposal to put back into the company, like, increase marketing or hire another person or whatever, research development. We don't care, as much as it goes for the company needs. And therefore, by having more money at your disposal, you will actually grow and scale quicker. And eventually, as you grow and scale quicker, the better impact you have on the Estonian economy. That makes sense, right? So we see it this way, that we will let entrepreneurs keep the profits for the company and use them for the company needs, and we will not tax any profit until you decide to distribute the profit in dividends. And that's when the 20% tax rate applies. Now, if you think of from the perspective of a startup founder, well, that's a game changer, right? Because as a startup founder, you can go like 5-10 years. Hopefully you don't, but you can go without making profits, right? But if you're making profits, you would like to reinvest it back in, right? So to grow bigger. So we give that opportunity in Estonia. And that's why perhaps Estonia has been a pleasant jurisdiction for startup founders in late years. In fact, I don't know if you heard, Estonia has been called the Silicon Valley of Europe, right? It's not a surprise that a company that has a strong focus on tech development is also the one with the fastest growing startup ecosystem in the world, right? So the whole ecosystem grows actually 30% per year. And there are currently 10 unicorn startups in Estonia that have been, they have been founded by Estonian founders. Some of them obviously have co-founders from other countries, and some of them are founded by e-residents as well. So actually people not living in Estonia, but they're Estonian e-residents, and they have their entity in Estonia, which have become a unicorn. So if you think that Estonia is 1.3 million population only, that actually makes Estonia #1 country in the world by the amount of unicorn startups per capita. Small country, a lot of successful startups. Also, I don't know if you guys, any of you had the chance to read the Deal Room report, but Estonian startups have also raised the most VC investments per capita in 2022 and 2021. So apparently, well, what does it show is that it shows that the trust of VC venture capital firms is actually high towards Estonian companies. One fact that I know, for example, is that Bolt has raised capital from Sequoia directly to the Estonian company, so they didn't have to even open any kind of companies in the US to get the money. So it shows the transparency and it shows the trust of the Estonian jurisdiction. Not only Estonia has a strong network of angel investors and VC firms and different accelerators and incubators, but the government actually supports innovation quite heavily. There are different funding programs in place. In fact, the majority of them are given out by Enterprise Estonia, the organization that e-Residency is part of. As far as I looked the last time, you can get up to 500,000 euros in funding from the government for different type of projects that you're in. One of the things, for example, is a startup visa as well that I think is worth mentioning. So in Estonia, basically, well, not in Estonia, but as a non-EU resident and citizen, you can actually, through the e-Residency, you can register an Estonian company, your startup, and you can apply for the startup visa for yourself as a founder and for developers in your startup. And you can actually relocate to Estonia for temporary living. How cool that is, right? I mean, I know it's not like something, oh, wow, but a lot of countries don't have it still. Some do, but we kind of we promote that a lot, and we're happy when people with tech background are coming to Estonia. So that's one big bonus for sure. Now, why am I telling all this? I mean, how does it get connected with the e-residency? Well, the point is that back in 2014, Estonia has introduced e-residency. And by becoming an e-resident of Estonia, you are getting a full access to our digital public services, which means that you can register and run the Estonian company remotely without ever coming to Estonia. And by having this Estonian company, you can benefit from all of the perks that Estonia has to offer, basically. How cool that is, right? By now, Estonia has actually more than 98,000 e-residents already from more than 170 countries. And these e-residents have actually registered more than 24,000 companies. So last year, statistically, e-residents have registered 1/3 of all companies in Estonia that were registered last year. So it's actually a big thing. It's a huge thing. And it's kind of like well rolling as well. So it's pretty easy to become one as well, an e-resident. I mean, so the way it looks like is you fill out the application on the website. It costs 100 euros if you want to come to Estonia to pick it up. It costs 120 euros if you want us to send the e-residency kit to one of the pickup locations of your choice. Those are the embassies of Estonia in different countries. And it can cost up to 130 if it's somewhere super remote. But you can see the full list on the website where we send those and what's the price is. But you fill out the application, it goes through the background check, and then the card is basically ready for you within, I would say, 8 weeks would be probably max for the whole process. And then we ship it out to you. So that's including the diplomatic postage. And then you have up to 6 months to pick it up from a pickup location, basically. So you don't have to rush right away, but you have time to take it from there. And then if you can't make it for some reason, you can still call us in, or you can write an email and we can hold it for another few months if you can't make it in 6. So pretty flexible. Now, once you got your e-residency kit, it gets activated, and basically you can go and register your company, right? So what do you need for that? Well, one thing that you need for sure is that by Estonian law, every Estonian company has to have a local legal address. And if you don't have one, which is pretty popular situation for e-residents, because most of you guys don't have like an office right away in Estonia or a place to register a company. So then those kind of companies that are managed from outside Estonia are supposed to have a contact person in Estonia, like a designated contact person. And it's not like anybody can become a contact person. It's a licensed activity in Estonia. So on our marketplace, on the website of the e-residency, you can actually find a list of companies, service providers, who offer different kind of services for e-resident companies. And one of the services that they offer is a contact person service. So before going and registering a company, you have to figure out who could be your contact person in Estonia, okay? And then once you've done that, you can go to the e-business registry and follow the steps and register a company. Apply for a license if needed. If you're planning to, if your startup or if your business is connected to like finances or I don't know, food production. I mean, there are some industries that are licensed. The majority are not, though. But I suggest you look it up and perhaps even talk to legal consultants as well. That you can find also in the marketplace. And then, so the company is opened usually like overnight, and then the next day it's running. And then it's time to apply for a business banking account. So what do you do then? Well, the first thing that we suggest to look for is to opening a banking account at one of the fintechs. because first of all, it's cheaper than opening a regular bank account in Estonia. Second, you can do it entirely online. You don't have to come to Estonia physically for that, while the Estonian banks would require you to come physically to open a bank account. And the third thing, I mean, it's pretty flexible in terms of like they don't require you to kind of have any connection with Estonia while running your business. Like on the contrary, banks in Estonia, they will want your Estonian business to have strong connection to Estonia. That's the very important thing. Otherwise, they won't open the account for you. So what does it mean? What does it mean, a strong connection? Well, I don't know, you have, let's say, the majority of your business partners are in Estonia, or you have some physical, I don't know, assets or real estate in Estonia, or you're renting an office, or you're hiring employees from Estonia. So that shows the connection to Estonia. So once you are on this level, then there is no issue. You can open a bank account in Estonian bank. Otherwise, payment institutions, fintechs. There is a lot of them. Also on the marketplace, you can look up the full list. And also there is an option that you can try to open a bank account in your country where you live, if it's in the European Economic Area. So basically within the EU, all the banks should fit. But again, you know, sometimes they would refuse to do it, although there is nothing illegal, but everyone has their different level of willingness to go through KYC and AML procedures. So I guess the safe would be start with the payment institutions like Wise and Payoneer and Stripe and Payhawk and so forth. All right. If you'll have more questions about that, you can ask later as well. So kind of wrapping up my part. So the basic expenses that you will face, the company registration fee, 265 euros. The contact person service could cost around 200 euros for you per year. So it's total annual. And then accounting, I believe you can find something cheap, like 70 euro per month. If you don't have a lot of, I don't know, under 10 invoices that you have monthly. Some of the service providers on our website, they would actually offer you like an accounting platform, like a SaaS solution that you can use. Some others will, well, I mean, and they can probably offer you like a real accountant as well. But I guess it depends on the size of your company or startup or your needs as well. And the share capital contribution, that's a new thing, actually. I believe it becomes live from February. So the share, it used to be 2,500 euros, but they're switching it down to 1 cent, euro cent. So basically, I mean, none makes it super easy. All righto. What do we have then? So you are an e-resident, you have company registered, you have a banking account working for you. You can join the startup community. You can apply for official startup status on the startup database in Estonia. You can apply for startup visa. You can join different acceleration programs, incubators, come take part in the community meetings. You also, obviously, you're qualifying for all of the EU grants as well, right? You were still in the EU, so nothing changes in that way if you're a resident of the EU right now. And then one big thing is that we have a huge e-residence community as well. So like I said, 98,000 people, not all of them active, but a couple tens of thousands are active. And we are organizing a lot of live events all over the Europe, and not only Europe, Brazil. We have people right now organizing events, going to Asia sometimes. Last month, we had a person in Bali, Indonesia. So as long as you're active, we're happy to keep in touch. And well, that's pretty much it. I know it wasn't a lot specific. Perhaps some of you were expecting more about like the startup thingy, you know, tell us more. But I mean, it's just an introduction to give you guys like, you know, get the feet wet, and hopefully that sparks a bit more interest. And then we'll have more of those sessions. And if you start following us and look for information, you'll find more. But this is it from me right now. And I'll probably give a mic to Tõnis right now, because that's going to be probably like a logical follow-up about what kind of, I'll let you do it. You know, just just take the mic.
Yes, thank you, Sergey. Wonderful introduction, and just giving this confidence to the listeners what the Estonian system itself already can do for you. And on that, one office can build. And the whole idea is to make your life a little bit easier, make the business processes simple, so you could focus on actually earning the money, or if you're not on money, then developing the project or the product or the service, whatever you want to do. So you could be really, really focused on one or two priorities, and the business end or the administration side of things is handled. So it's partly already handled by the government. It provides great tools. The e-Residency tool, it's perfect if you want to minimize your costs, overall running costs of the business. But still, you are entering a new market. You're not sure what to do. There is a lot of information. Totally, I recommend contacting the e-Residency team directly. They have a lot of free information, knowledge base. But at some point, things get serious. You know, okay, I have a plan. I have my funds. I want to open a company. What happens then? Well, as Sergey mentioned, you need a service provider because you probably don't have a local address. If you do, that's fine. You still can use service providers to help them to navigate the there's still a compliance side and everything. You have to still fill in application forms to open the company, and it can get confusing. And you want to save time. We want to overall save money. So we are here to help with that. I'll share my screen just a moment. I'll share the whole desktop and let's go. You can see, right? Good. So the motto we have in one office, making business simple. That's how we try to design our services. So again, you come in, there's a fixed price for a service or a product, and you can rely on that this will be your fee for the next year or whatever. So you know that you have a budget. One office takes this portion of your budget or whatever it is, you can account on that. That's really important for a starting company. And the other thing is that we have a vision. We're young people, and we have a vision. Estonia is our main market, providing services in Estonia, but we have a vision to be present in all business traction centers around the globe. So we are at the moment located in 7 different countries, in the Baltic states, Finland, Sweden, UK, and the Ireland. So these are the countries we have chosen at the moment, and we plan to expand to Portugal and Singapore in the future. So we want to be present where business is, where the actual business is conducted. So through us, you have the opportunity to enter new markets as well, to grow. And Estonia, and again, the system, the government provides you so good tools, and just the entity itself you are creating in Estonia, it's really easy. Well, let's say with some other company in another country, it would be much harder to enter to a Swedish market, because even getting the documents of the company, let's say German companies' documents, it takes time. Everything goes via notary or the tax office. It's painful. So, but in Estonia, you go download the documents yourself and send it to us, and we can help you to expand to Finland, for example. Just an example. And oh, and I noticed there's a mistake in the picture. Can somebody find the mistake? There's one green missing, probably because it's our newest market and it's the Ireland. So if you're tech orientated, then again, we can help your Estonian business expand to Ireland as well. And maybe it will be beneficial for you if you're, I don't know, related somehow with Google, Amazon, the big US tech companies, or maybe it's like a prestige thing that you want to be present there as well. Anything, any motivation you have to do that, we can help you. But this is the background, whose one office in all of the countries, we have the same services as I speak about Estonia at the moment, but in other countries, we have basically the same service. You have e-Residency card now, and you want to open a company in Estonia. You need an address. So you go to marketplace and you choose one office. I know that. I know that because it's only 299 euros to open a company with one office. And if you remember, Sergey told you that 265 euros is the state fee. So you pay a small margin just to ensure, for just calm your minds and everything, that the initial application to open your company is done correctly. Because we still see, you could basically go into the registry and just take an address from us, nothing else, the contact person, I mean, sorry. And you can go to the business portal with your e-Residency card and do everything yourself. But still, there are questions there. Interface is good, I think, so nothing to complain there, but you have multiple pages. But what we ask just a company name, who are you, your address, your phone number, and that's it. Then you have everything compiled in one place, you sign it, and then it goes off to the government. And just the pricing itself, again, it's a really tiny margin, and to keep yourself calm that everything is going properly. All the communication, by the way, originally comes in Estonian to you, like confirmations that the company has been registered. So that's also helpful if we mediate that. And as mentioned, or Sergey mentioned, that the fastest established company, it happened just in 15 minutes and 33 seconds in London last year. And one office was also part of the project. So we were the ones who provided that contact person. When you register a company, you have to enter a contact person, it's one office information, and we have to sign off on that. So we also gave a little signature with mobile ID. No computers, just mobile. So it was a fun experience, and I think we can even beat the record. It would be probably done in 10 minutes, even maybe less. I don't know. If everything has to be aligned. The internet connection has to be there. So yeah, the internet connection got lost, and that's why it was 15 minutes, not 10 minutes probably. So yeah, just the fee itself already really marginal that we add on top. But now the real question, what do you need on a daily basis or on a monthly basis? We have different packages, and basically it all boils down what kind of business you do and how fast you plan to start selling, how fast you need financial advice, accounting advice, tax advice. That's the question you have to ask yourself. And if you can answer those questions and put them in a written form or just call us, then we can advise you which kind of product you need. But these are the monthly packages, monthly based subscriptions. And obviously we try to recommend the Fly Plus because it has a dedicated accountant behind it. We do all the necessary compliance, all the annual reporting, monthly reporting, anything you might need. So it's all included in there. There is a transaction cap of 30 transactions per month, which is, in our experience, pretty good. So most people fit into that. But if you exceed, then you pay additional fee just for those transactions. So if you have like 60 transactions, then you pay like 30 euros more or something like that. Again, we have support staff available all the time. So if you have like specific questions, specific situations, you can always double check with the team, like, is this the right product for us? Now, if you're really starting, maybe the product is not yet developed, or you don't have the MVP available, you're just thinking you need a legal entity, maybe you need some expenses to be covered by a legal entity, you don't want to do it from the private person account, whatever. And you don't plan any sales, or the revenue, maybe it's not coming in the next 6 months or whatever it might be, then these two packages in the beginning are really good, because start package is purely the contact person, but you still get access to our platform, free information, free sales invoices. So still a good option. But if you want to be sure that we still in the back end do all the compliance, and you really don't have to worry anything from the legal side of things, all the annual reports, everything is done, then we have this SaaS option, which records you have to record there your expenses and your sales invoice tool is there, but you upload your expenses as well. And at the end of the year, it does its own calculations and basically drafts already an annual report. So it's all automatic. It's all SaaS solution. You just have to enter your sales and expenses there. And all the tutorials, menus are up there. Support team is also available at all times, basically. You have chosen your company name, you have chosen your package, you create the user. So now we get to the place again where different service providers differ. Do they have a platform? Do they have some additional things available on the platform? What kind of value can they provide for your business? And in my opinion, the user that you create, first of all, to open the company, but later to manage the company as well, it's really useful for you because it does a lot of things for you. I'll let you know in a bit. You create a user, you fill in the application, the company name. There's next step would be, I didn't want to add anybody's information there, but yeah, next step would be filing in your own name, choosing our contact person, and that's it. That's it basically, yeah. And then you move forward to the signing stage. Again, signing, I've handled clients for 4 years now. And what we constantly see is actually the hardest part is signing, using the digital signature software, because it's the first time you're doing it, probably. You haven't used it before. You just picked up the e-Residency card from the embassy and then it activated and then you try to use the signature function. Well, you have to download software, browser extensions, maybe restart a couple of times things. But yeah, here in this option, you can actually download already. If you don't have the software, you can download it directly from our platform. It installs automatically. And again, if something like raises questions or it doesn't work for you, then you either have to contact the software owner, the government, basically there are officers for that, or you can contact actually one office support. So at all times you have this live chat option available. So if you quickly need something, then you can always ask. So let me show, for example, at the moment the team is offline, it's after 5. But you started here, you chose your package, but maybe you're not sure what kind of package you need. Then you can open the live chat during business hours, and you can actually ask like, hey, I have this kind of business, can I fit into this package, or is this the correct product for me? And when you do the registration across the line, you can also ask like, I don't know if I should write in this or that, what kind of address, whatever. You might have questions. Again, available, team is available. And now, really, once you've signed, the final step, we allow to do everything for free that you want to do at the moment. You've given your signature. Now it's the payment stage. So still you have time to double check everything. Your application is basically ready. You just haven't executed the payment. You can still double check with our team, maybe with e-Residency team, just think a little bit and then continue with your application. So it just gives you, again, freedom to choose the right product and to really understand what you are getting into. But then company is ready, usually 24 hours, maybe 48, depends the courts who process your application. They are sometimes even working on the weekends. So it can be a really quick process to open the company. As mentioned, the record is 15 minutes. Our own record within the team is 20 minutes. And this wasn't organized. It just happened in a way that client submitted and then 20 minutes passed and company was ready. It was pretty amazing. I think they also wrote us a review, so they were really happy about it. Now that the company has been registered, you will have this dashboard for your business. You can see your invoices. This obviously is like a test environment, so it's not perfect, but all the posts that you receive in Estonia, we handle that no matter what package you take. So you can always see the post that arrives, and it's in a secure place. It's not sent to you via email, which is really unsecure nowadays and actually not GDPR compliant. So we have to upload everything to a secure environment. You can drop your purchase invoices. So if you had that fly package that I mentioned, the one here, then again, the one here, then all you need to do is creating new invoices here for sales and dropping purchase invoices here. And at the end of the year, the calculations in the backend will be done automatically. Of course, accountant will take a look. It's again included in the price. A human eye will review before it's submitted to the government, but still. It will show you your monthly revenue, yearly revenue, and you will also have this notifications here, latest post, everything in one environment. And the beauty of it is the actual tool here is exactly the invoices and the purchase, the expenses. And this at the moment, as you can see, is a progressive web app. So it acts like an app and you can download it to your phone as well. So that's the beauty of it. You can do everything with your phone and just manage your business, the financial side, and you can also live chat and do different kinds of things in this environment. Let me continue here. This is done. This is done. You sign, and a couple of things again about OneOffice. I mentioned these things many times, and this is basically a list persuasion for you, but I'll add a couple of things that, in my opinion, really differentiate us from others. Well, basically, we grow as you grow. As mentioned, you can start very minimum, just 15 euros per month, that's it. But you can always upgrade, or you can order one-off services. So we have a lot of one-off services. For example, drafting a legal contract. We have templates available for it, but if the template is not suitable, you need something special, then you can ask for a service. We can change your structure, shareholder structure. Maybe there's an investor coming. You want to give some of your shares and instead you get money from them. We can do that. So you can always contact the team and ask or mention your problem, and then we'll try to find you a solution. We have a web page where services are listed, but I strongly recommend just asking, because sometimes these legal services are so specific that you might want to double check just in case if we have a suitable solution. As mentioned, free contracts available. So contracts that are applicable in Estonia, definitely, but some of them also internationally and in Europe, standard employment agreements, NDAs, stuff like that. We have experts in other countries, as mentioned, Ireland, the UK, Sweden, Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. So if you have a need to hire an employee from Latvia, we can help you to do proper registration for an Estonian company, so you could pay salaries for a Latvian employee. Really useful tool, because immediately you have more reach. You maybe have more knowledge within your team, because you know that these guys in OneOffice, they can handle your employees' salaries and everything is legal. You are not in a legal risk or tax risk. It's really important to minimize as many risks as possible, and we can help you to do that. And if it happens that your business is not going well, which I know it doesn't happen, because Startup Wise guys will help you get funded and everything is going well, but maybe it's not going well, we can close the business. We can help with that. Or on the other hand, it's going so well that somebody makes you an offer you cannot refuse, and you want to sell all of your shares. Again, we can help. So these tiny things, I think, are beneficial for you. Of course, we are extremely proud of these things as well, that we rarely are in a situation where we cannot help the client. And if that happens, then we have partners. We have partner network. e-Residency itself is our partner. Enterprise Estonia. We can help you to direct for you to go to the right direction, right contacts to get the thing done that you need. So again, Avocado, for example, here provides the legal templates that I mentioned. Airwallex provides banking services. Sign Online, again, templates, legal templates, and they are the ones who made the world record, established the company in 15 minutes and 33 seconds together with us and the e-Residency team. So the network itself is also really important. And then if you have questions or concerns, start with the e-Residency team, choose a service provider, communicate with them. If the service provider for some reason cannot help you, you can again go to e-Residency team. They will try to bring together the correct connections for you. So that's my recommendation, my story, and thank you so much for listening. Detailed questions, legal, taxes, everything, shoot in the questions and answers. So we'll try to answer and see what kind of questions you have. Thanks.
Thanks, Dennis. In fact, there is one question for you.
Already?
Yeah.
Ready for that.
I'll let you read it and then the answer in written. Daria, please take it over.
Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for the presentation. I think Startup Wise Guys is the next logical step for you startup founders. You have your e-Residency, you have set up your company in Estonia. I actually do strongly recommend getting someone who can help you with taxes, properly setting up your company and everything. So One Office is going to be a splendid service provider for you for that. I have had founders who have been struggling because you don't want to be in a hot waters with tax authorities on top of growing your business as well. But today I'm representing Startup Wise Guys. We are leading B2B accelerator in Europe, and we are born out of Estonia. So around the time when e-Residency was set up, 2 years before that, we have been created. After the first successful entrepreneurs exited the Skype, you might have heard about that small company that was acquired by Microsoft. They have had some capital and they decided to put it back into the ecosystem and to help future founders grow faster and also fund their businesses. So the Wise Guys was created as a fund and as an accelerator. And since then, we have been staying true to our mission to help founders become entrepreneurs and build great international and sustainable companies. Today, we operate in 5 different verticals. Our main one is B2B SaaS. We also have sustainability program. We also have fintech program, cyber program. Our first cyber program was also run together with the Estonian government and the Ministry of Defense. And our latest program that we have launched at the beginning of the previous year, it was extended reality program. Over the years, over 11 years that we have been operating, we weren't slacking, if you want to put it this way. Over the years, we're on 38 full-time acceleration programs. We have worked with more than 600 different founders. Our portfolio size is 375 startups, and actually the biggest chunk of it is registered in Estonia because we have a greatest ecosystem and it's so easy to navigate. Currently we have 13 exits. The latest one has been sold to Pinterest, if you know that small company. But out of all the numbers, if you see on the screen, I encourage you to remember the 80% one. That means that 80% of the startups that graduate our program stay alive, which if you compare on the market is actually quite a good number. I think it's the biggest number. And also this number has changed in the previous 2 years. It was 77%, so we're doing something right, that more of our portfolio companies survive on that market. And probably one of the aspects that make us so successful is that we help founders on different stages of their journey. We have online pre-accelerator that is designed for very early startups. You maybe have your prototype, you have an idea what you want to do, but you have no previous experience. You don't really know what you're doing. You maybe know how to build products. This is the program for that stage. It's fully online. It's fully equity free. The only thing we need from you is your time and dedication. You have pre-recorded content, but also you have webinar sessions with real people where you can ask your questions that are relevant to your business, and you get mentoring sessions with us as well. It's focused on business basics. So maybe you have previous entrepreneurial experience, but maybe not. So we will cover all the things you need to know to not make any major mistakes, to set up your company from the beginning in a proper way. And it also feeds our full-time accelerator pipeline, because during those 8 weeks, the Wise Guys team works together with you. We get to know the founders, we see the passion, we help them grow. And then the ones who stay on the journey, who fit our criteria, they are welcome to apply and get into our full-time accelerator. Our full-time accelerator is 5 months long. It's a hybrid program. I will go in depth about the structure of the program a little bit later, but every startup that gets accepted into the full-time accelerator also gets an investment. The ground money to start your company, focus on the program during those 5 months, and start sales so you don't have to worry about money in the bank. And mainly it's focused on sales, leadership, and fundraising, the most important parts for the successful startup at the very beginning. And the last part, but not least, we always say that after you graduate Wise Guys, you never walk alone. That means that we also have an aftercare program for our alumni startups. You graduate, especially for the first 6 months after the graduation. This is when our startups need the most support, because this is when you can go out in the world, you start implementing the knowledge, but this is also usually the time when you start raising your first round. And even though we do have fundraising as a topic, talking about it, listening about it is not the same as raising your first round, because it's such a nuanced process. So we're always there for our founders, not only during the first fundraising, but throughout the whole journey. And if you know, the B2B SaaS company journey now is a bit over 9 years, between 9 to maybe 13 years. So we're always there. Inside our team, we have people who have been founders themselves, but also we're managing a portfolio of almost 400 startups. If we haven't personally went through this particular struggle that you're having, we either seen one of our portfolio companies going through it, or we have advised them on that, or we know who to ask. Obviously, our programs come with various perks and a great community of more than 600 founders. You want to expand to a specific geography, you get access to the alumni network. You can ask them, they can advise you what to do, what not to do, what particular things you need to know about a region you want to expand, anything and everything you might want to ask. And as I mentioned, our core product is a full-time acceleration that comes with an investment. And recently, after the COVID, we have redesigned. So it's flagship program 2.0. It is a hybrid program, which means you do have to be on site for some weeks, but also there is a content online. Online provides the flexibility that we're now all used to, but we're true believers of actually meeting people we're working with and developing those relationships. So for 6 out of 21 programs, we will require our startups to come on site. It's usually divided into the chunks of 2. It's at the beginning, we are together for 2 weeks. We have different activities, not only the content related, but also fun related, because this is how you build the relationship. You get to know us as a team, but also you get to know your batchmates. They are building the company. They are on about same level as you are, and they also have their previous journeys behind them. This means that you can also go to them for different support and work together. And you can't beat the on-site for building the relationships. The second part is going to be in the middle of the program. This is where we have our progress day. This is where you show to us what progress you have made, and also you get feedback on your journey as well. And the last part is the cherry on top. We have graduation. You get to meet the batchmates. You can pat each other on the backs, say that you have survived this intense program, and go on your way and swim by yourself. The program in itself is divided into 4 main pillars. The first part will be building the company, because now that you have founded a company doesn't really mean that you're a great leader or you know what to do with your team, because now it's three of you in a garage. But after the accelerator, when you have accelerated your sales, you have to start growing your team. You need to understand, how do you grow your team? How do you do your first hires? How to manage the hires, how to manage your talent, because now you're there, you're trying and struggling, but then also you need to maintain and grow your team in a meaningful way, at the same time making sure that nobody burns out, because first years of being a startup founder are hard. So we teach you how to be sustainable in a way of how to grow a sustainable company, how to run it sustainably, personally and for the co-founders and the team as well. But also all the fun things will be touched upon, such as being GDPR compliant, how to protect your IP rights, and how to keep your financials in order, and so on. Probably the biggest topic within the program is sales, because this is the fuel for your startup. This is what your future investors are going to be asking for, and this is why our main core thing in the program are sales. Starting from figuring out your ideal customer persona, all the way to building your sales funnel and how to automate your outreach and how to train your salespeople to be better. When you have that, we also provide the pitch training, because you will be pitching across your whole journey. It's not only presenting at some conference or talking to the future investors that will be asking you to do your 3-minute pitch, 5-minute pitch, elevator pitch. Basically, you pitch to everyone. Is it your future hire? You're pitching your vision, so they will be together with you and you can transpire where you're going as a company. Or it will be your future customer, because you're doing demos, you're presenting also your vision, especially if you are at the beginning of your journey, you have maybe limited functionalities in your product, but you know where you're going. So you're also not only presenting what you're doing now, but what you plan to do in the future. And then when you have all your ducks in a row, you have your financials in order, you are GDPR compliant or on your way there. You have your sales, and you know how to present and storytell your company, then we provide the fundraising part as well. We tell you how the fundraising is working, and it's adjusted also to different situations, because the content is also adjusted. Raising money 3 years ago is much different from raising money now. So we adjust our content to the economical situation, and we advise on that as well. But also how to figure out who is your ideal investor, because not every investor will fit your business. Also how to talk to them, what kind of paperwork they will ask you to provide, and how to build the relationship with investors, because it's a long-term commitment. And then when everything is set up closer to the end of the program, but it depends on the stage of the startup, we start also doing warm intros to the relevant investors for your business. And I'm part of the scouting team, so here is my sales pitch. And usually I started with saying that if you have ever considered to join Startup Wise Guys and you have any questions or doubts, obviously, for questions, you turn to us. But if you want to know how it went previously, on our webpage, you can find our portfolio companies. Go on LinkedIn and ask for the feedback, because you can get the bestest information from our clients, who are obviously our portfolio companies. And currently, we have a lot of programs that we're scouting for. Tomorrow, we're closing the selection process for the extended reality program. Then we just opened this week cybersecurity program that will be happening in Bilbao, and you can apply until the end of the March. And then also we're looking for the SaaS companies also for the program in Bilbao. And there you can apply until also almost the end of the March. All of our all of these programs come with an investment. Investment is up to 100,000 euros, and we invest at the convertible note investment. Also, as I mentioned at the beginning, we touch upon every single part of the journey of the founder. And recently we developed a new program, Founders Club. This is designed for people who have already business experience, but haven't made a startup yet, but they want to understand and explore that area. You can apply. The next program is starting in February, but I know we still accept applications. So if you are in corporate world and you got bored, or you want to change your life and experience new challenges, because working 9 to 5 is okay, but you want to work 20 hours a day, eat ramen for the next 3 years, and you have the great idea, we're happy to help you on that journey to figure out the world of entrepreneurship in the startups, but also maybe help you find a good team. And as I always say, if you are in doubt, apply or not, apply first and think later. Thank you.
Thank you, Daria. Awesome.
I like that last part. Apply first, think later.
Yes. Well, I am from the scouting team, so I have to.
It also
but also the worst that can happen, you spend 30 minutes and we just say no, but maybe it's the greatest decision of your life and you join our company. Well,
putting yourself in a situation where backing off is a little bit harder, and then you are forced to bring your idea into light and then really work for it. So it's good tactic.
Yeah. Yes.
Right on. Well, if you guys have any other questions that you haven't asked during the session, then I put here in the chat. I added my email, I added Daria's email, and Tinis was adding his email as well somewhere in the conversation, right?
I'll add once more. Yeah, I just directly answer people, then add it there. But in general, you can contact me.
Yeah, copy. I'll put it in the chat as well right now. So just copy it if you need, or oh, there you add it as well. Okay, cool. Cool, amazing. Thanks for joining for this webinar. And I guess we'll see you next time, whenever it comes.
Thanks for hosting. Thank you, everybody.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.